Hey, welcome to the Paulcast. I'm Paul Daugherty. Today we are talking about prison ministry, and we're going to call this the Prison Pod right here. So I'm sitting with my friends Jeremiah, Mateola, Jered Jones, Pedro. What's your last name?
Moreira.
Okay. I just call him Pedro. Pedro is amazing. He's the one that sets up all of our prison outreaches and all of our local outreaches. But before we get into the conversation, we want to show you real quick just a recap of what God's been doing through Victory's prison ministry. If you haven't seen it, check this out. All right, we are standing here with the chaplain of, tell us.
Great Plains Correctional Center.
You had a vision
I
you were
did.
telling me and Pedro about, a vision of a sea of orange, right?
I did. I had a vision of a sea of orange, and I remember waking up, and I remember the soccer field.
Wow.
And when I got here the next day, it clicked. And I'm like going, okay. And today was the day.
Today was the fulfillment.
Today was the fulfillment. We've never had an open yard event.
Today's been a really special day. We had over 81 volunteers from Victory in here, blessing the lives of those inmates. Over 2,000 Bible, 2,000 burgers, the whole band, the worship team. God has moved in this place today. And we're so grateful for the generosity of our house. They allow us to come and do those revival outreach.
Hey, Victory, thank you so much for helping us do these outreaches. Thank you for sowing seed into the Bibles and the books, the meals, all that we get to do to bless these just incredible men that need Jesus. They need hope. They need life. And we're bringing it to them because of your generosity, because of your belief in this. So let's keep reaching our state. Let's keep reaching the world. The harvest is ripe. The laborers are few. Let's go bring in the harvest. All right, so you just saw the recap of what God's been doing. That's just a small picture of just the incredible ministry that's been happening. And really, God's been on the move at these prison outreaches. Each of these guys serve a different role at the outreaches. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, let them tell you a little bit about what they do at the outreach. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yes, sir. My name is Jeremiah, and I get to serve in worship at the prisons. And it's been a very surreal experience to worship and bring the hope of Jesus through music to people that are in like a confined space that they can't get out of. And just to be able to like sing that about the goodness and the greatness of God, knowing that they're in situations that are not great because they didn't do something great.
Yeah.
And it's just been such a privilege to get to interact with the prisoners, and all the different prisons have had their own.
You've had guys like leading worship with you that are inmates up there.
That was probably one of the best ones. Was we had a couple guys join us on, and just to kind of
they're wearing all orange
like
up
just
there.
literally like on stage with us, and it's just kind of surreal to hear them sing the same lyrics of, you know, like how much they're trusting in God, and like they want to build their life. And I'm like, man, like you're stuck here. Like I get to go home after this and you're here. So it's just been great to just experience that and listen to their stories and listen to how like the power of music and the power of worship for people that are in that situation is just as great for us that are out here in the world and getting to live our own lives. So it's been really cool.
One of my favorite worship moments that happened the last one that I was at was we were singing, I trust in God, my Savior. Band was playing, Jeremiah was leading, and then you stepped back from the mic, and the guys on the field, there was like 2,000 guys, you could hear their voices just shouting, I trust in God. You know, some of them are falling down, crying. And like what Jeremiah just said, you know, us singing that song, getting to leave the prison that day, is one thing. Them singing that song, knowing that some of them will be there for 40 more years. Some of them, they're serving life sentences, and you know there's no getting out. Like that's just another whole dynamic of singing worship songs. And what would you say to people that have a desire one day to lead worship in a prison that you've seen on this side now, doing it the last few times? what would you say to those guys that are listening to the podcast that one day go, man, I'd love to lead worship or sing songs with a group of prisoners? What have you learned from this?
Yeah, I think perspective is everything, because we get to sing songs in our own lives. But I think something that's cool that I think either you shared or one of the prisoners was that we may not be in prison, but we could still be living a life that's bound.
Yeah.
And having that perspective of that the same way I need worship to deal with the things in my life is the same way that they need it. And that literally is like their lifeline. And that's how we should be with God. Like, God is our everything. So we truly believe that. I think having that perspective of, hey, we may not be inside the prison, but we still need God and we still need worship the same way they do. And giving that perspective and that attitude when leading them, I think is so important, because it could just be easy to just go in there and sing a few songs and leave. But sometimes I do have to step back because it's just overwhelming to hear them sing these lyrics. And I know, like, they're not just singing I trust in God because it's on the screen. Like, that is literally their cry. Like, it is their desperation. It's like their prayer. And just all the different moments that we've had so far, I think that's the best way to approach it in prison. And they all have stories, and the stories that they have in there, it's even changed the way I've even approached my own personal worship, or even in terms of writing songs. Yeah. It's a whole different thing to try and write about freedom when you get to leave a place where everyone in there is not free. And so, that's the way I would approach it.
I think the other thing too, just on worship, is you have to lead worship without any screen behind you, any lyrics. So the songs you're choosing, when people ask me, like, what do you preach on in the prison and what songs do you sing? I'm like, well, there's no slides, no TV screen. So we're going to sing songs that they can hopefully know. Right. And if they don't know, we're going to try to help teach them the choruses. But a lot of it is just anthem after anthem. Yeah. It's, I trust in God. And a lot of these guys somehow have heard these songs. Yeah. Whether it's by Brandon Lake or an old Hillsong worship song. But I think keeping it simple has helped the guys enter in more. Yes. We're not trying to teach them 10 new songs. We're keeping it simple, but you can feel like when you hit that chorus,
they know it. They're
into it. Yeah. I think one place we sang Amazing Grace, and you could just feel the whole field. They were like, we know this song.
The song.
Yeah. All right, Jered, tell them who you are, what you've been doing at the prison ministry.
Jered, and I'm at Camp Victory, so that's why I'm known as the grill guy.
Come on.
I never imagined that would be my purpose in life.
Hey, Jered is literally like the best fresh breath of air for our church. You came to Victory how long ago?
5 years.
5 years ago during COVID, 2020, and got hired on at Camp Victory in 2022, and moved out there the same year you got hired out there.
Yes.
Living on the campgrounds. He's helped literally like rebuild, revitalize, and build new things out at camp. Camp Victory's looking incredible. But when you came into the prison ministry outreaches, you came out there specifically to help us feed these guys.
That's it. And then we had built a grill at camp because we wanted to. We didn't really have the availability to do that, to feed like thousands of children hamburgers and hot dogs. And so eventually we said, well, we need to build something that can hold that capacity. So 250-gallon tanks that we turned into charcoal grills, and they're smokers now. And it just keeps expanding. And so, man, when prison ministry came up, I thought, is this the next step? Is this phase 2? Is this the next level? Are we going to level up? And oh man, I never imagined providing inmates with food, like fresh food. And it would elicit such a reaction. And I can remember the first place we went, we came home, and like, I'm glad you used the word surreal, Jeremiah, because when you leave, you just spent like 4 hours with these guys and you're driving out.
Yeah.
And they're not.
It's a guilty feeling.
That is so true.
Big time.
So that first night, I come back home and we're at Camp Victory, and Michelle's prepared a meal, and we sit down together and we hold hands, and I start to pray, and I just start crying.
Wow.
And she's like, hey, are you okay? And I just said, we are free.
Sure.
We are eating food that is fresh and free. And do you realize? And she was just like, oh, prison changed you. And I was like, I wasn't in prison. I was like, wait, whoa. Rephrase that.
Prison changed.
But it was a check. It was a check in my heart.
Yes.
Like I'm so more, like I was very grateful for this one meal after seeing and witnessing. And so we just take the inmates, the number of inmates, and Pedro sends me this number. Like, I thought he was sending me a number in faith, and he goes like, no, we do need 1,300 hamburgers grilled. And I'm like, all right, what does that mean? Like, I don't even know what that means.
How many can you grill at one time?
We can grill 120 patties in 4 minutes.
Wow.
When the grill is hot, it is hottest and it's going. So
when I walk over there and it's hot, your face is on fire. I can see the smoke's coming up in your face. And you're like,
yes. So having volunteers help us do that, and 4 lids, 4 spatulas, just constant. From the second that thing's hot, we are flipping burgers. We put them in ice chest so they stay hot. When you finish your service, it's just, they come over there.
They're so ready for it.
They're so ready. And I'll tell you this one story. There was a guy, I don't know if I can say his name or not, but anyway, he was there. He was helping me. He was like my volunteer helper. So he was unboxing patties and stuff, and I was grilling because I feel like there's a responsibility we have to give them the gospel. We have to give them the worship. We give them the heart of God, and I need to give them the best product possible. So I'm grilling. He's helping me, and he just says at the end of the whole experience, he's got a hamburger, and he's just holding it, and he's just looking down, and I'm like, is he blessing it? Is he? I don't know. I don't want to interrupt. And he like looks up, and his eyes are wide. He's just like really like crying. And I said, "Are you okay, dude?" And he just looks at me. He says, "This is the best bite I'm gonna have like in the past 5 years." He couldn't believe he was about to take a bite.
What was his name?
His name was Sonny.
Sonny.
I just said, I just in my heart, I was like, I hope you enjoy this burger more than anything you've ever had. So he eats it, and I said, how much longer do you have? Because they don't like to talk about why they're in. I noticed that.
Yeah, nobody wants to tell you what happened.
So if you ask how much longer do you have or when do you get out, they jump over that. They're like, this is how much longer I'm serving. He served 7 years. He's got 7 more years to go. And he said, I can't wait to get out. I said, where are you going to go? And he goes, I don't know, but I just know this. I want to have a burger when I get out. And I said, well, I'll tell you this much. Make your way to Tulsa. Ask for the grill guy at Victory. I want to buy your burger when you get out. And he goes, are you serious? I was like, I can't wait.
Jered.
Wow.
And he goes, are you still going to be there? And I was like, I'm not going anywhere.
Jered, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then one of the prisons you sent us to, there's like 2,300 inmates. There's 4 gangs. They're just like huddled up, like walking around the grill. And I'm like on the grill. Like, oh man, like, I hope I don't get hurt. They're around us and they're like, man, it sure smells good. And I'm like,
they're giving you crazy eyes too.
Oh, bad. Yes. And they're just like, can I have a sample? Yes, here, just go away. Just don't hurt me. Go to the baptisms. I don't know.
Go get saved, please.
I was very nervous.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding.
Well, yeah, 2,300 prisoners, and that was the prison where we couldn't find any of the guards or the warden.
They were nowhere. They were on top of the buildings.
Yeah, that was the outreach that I was looking around. I was like, I feel like we are sitting ducks that could just get taken out.
And the chaplain was like, we've never had him out here like this before. This is so close together.
First time that this happened.
Oh, God help us. Yeah, found my prayer language that day.
That is so funny. Oh, no, yeah, I'm getting them mixed up because that one, that one, thankfully, we had the guards on the roof.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, because Pedro
that was
like,
the one that you, the last one.
Yeah, you fixed that one. You were like, we got help this time.
You had like security. 3 guys from our team here at Victory. We had 2 officers following
but they may not have
around.
been near the grill.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly who was by the grill.
He was left behind.
Jered might have been by himself, surrounded by some gangs.
I'm just glad they all smiled. I know food like brought such joy to people. I was like, you're not angry. Here, chew on this. You're not angry.
I will say, when you said the guy's name was Sonny, it's interesting meeting some of the guys because they actually have prison names. And there's unique names. They're like, that's T-Bone over there. Or like, that's, that over there is like Crazy Eyes, and I love getting to hear some of their like insider language stories as you're talking to them about, a lot of these guys are there and they're survivors. They're survivors of multiple attempts to try to take their life in prison and out of prison.
Yeah.
And so they want to share with you, what it's like there. But man, Jered, as you were talking about just that guy and him getting out, wanting to get a burger, I just think what we're doing, coming in there, feeding them, the worship, the word, the Bibles, the hugs, the handshakes, it's showing them like, hey, you are valuable. You are worth a good burger.
Yes.
You are worth our time and energy. Even though we're leaving, and that is a guilty feeling, I think what you're doing at the grill, is just as important as the sermon and the altar call and the baptism, because it's just instilling in them value.
That's it.
And worth. And so that's incredible. Okay, Pedro, the outreach pastor. Tell them a little bit about just you coming to Victory and then getting involved in these prison outreaches and what God's been doing.
Yeah, I came to Victory. It's been 7 years this year. Came from Brazil to study at Victory Bible College. And from there, my life changed. I got plugged in at Victory during COVID, serving at the Dream Center. We served 16 million meals within a year. And from there, worked at the Dream Center for a year, worked under our missions department here, went all over the United States doing disaster relief trips. And then...
What year did you come on staff?
I came on staff in 2020.
And at that time, you were working at the Dream Center?
Yes.
And then, like you said, a year after that is when you came on the church side with missions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from there, couple months ago, in the middle of a service, actually, I'll never forget, Sean Foy was preaching here, and Pastor Paul texted me and Pastor Daniel, hey, I just had a vision. We got to get prison ministry backed up. And
so that was it. It was when Sean was here. I was trying to remember when it was happening.
That was on that service because he showed a couple of videos that he was leading prison ministry in Florida, I think. And I think that when you had a vision of the Sea of Orange, and from there we started this whole thing.
Man.
And just the beginning of it, it was literally God's favor from the beginning until the point that we are today. That we started knocking on doors, talk with missionaries that done prison ministry for Victory for the past 40 years. And every door that I would knock, I was like, oh, it's really hard to go to those facilities. They will never allow so many guys at once to come out. And I was like, God, you're going to bring favor. You're going to bring favor.
Come on.
And through some phone calls, I got in a phone call with Pastor Terry Henshaw, and he connected me with this dude called Brian Bowback. And on the phone call, it was really funny because I was like, after so many no's, I was like, man, our pastor had a vision. He saw a Sea of Orange. I'm trying to do those revival outreach inside of prisons, talk with a couple people. It didn't work out so well. Can you help us? And I had no idea who that dude was or what he does. Ends up that he works with the Governor Stitch, and he looks at me laughing on the phone. And I was like, what's going on? He was like, our governor had the same vision. He saw revival service taking place inside of prisons.
Let's go.
And you calling me today is a confirmation that Victory is the one that needs to do this.
Wow. Come on.
So that was the moment that I was like, thank God.
Divine.
The favor came behind.
Come on.
From there, we got connected to the Department of Correction, straight from the governor's office, and they just opened the gates. For the next 18 months, that's when the governor still has, still the governor of Oklahoma. That's our gap. That's our vision for it, is to do as many prisons as we can, as many revival service to see those guys transform. It's been an incredible time. Come on.
Bro, you got me so inspired. I got goosebumps because you're right. We have a window. And you never know how long that window is going to last. You never know who the next governor is going to be and if we'll have the same favor that we're having right now with this governor. But the fact that God connected you with Brian Bowback, who works for Governor Stitt, and opened the doors, like literally flung the prison doors open for us. It's like a Bible story. And, I was talking with my mom. I was like, Mom, when you and Dad did prison ministry, what was the biggest crowd you ever ministered to? She said, maybe 300.
No way.
And she said, never did we break 300 in a prison. And that was usually because we were there for a graduation of Victory Bible College. And I said, Mom, our first outreach, we had 900 prisoners or 800 prisoners show up. And then these last few ones, it's been like 1,000 or 2,000 or 900. It's just been crazy. And they're not required to sit out there. They're invited. A lot of these guys that are coming could be a mixture of atheist or Muslim or Hindu or agnostic. You do have Christians out there in the field, but they're hearing the gospel. They're getting saved. And then tell them, I want to hear from you guys that went to this last outreach. You went into the ones that are in maximum, like locked up, couldn't come out on the field because of the crimes they've committed or the violence they've experienced. Talk a little bit about what that was like at the last outreach.
So we went to this past prison, and we had it an hour after we set up. And I came to the warden. I was like, hey, do you guys have a locked up unit? Any unit that we might be able to go? Those going to be some of those inmates that are not going to be able to come to the service. And he was like, actually, we do have one. I was like, how many people can I take? And he was like, oh, about 5 or 10. I was like, can I bring 30? And he was like, no, man, you cannot do that. Like, what not? How many people you have there? He was like, 42. Exactly. If I bring 30, is the right number, allow us. So somehow this dude,
I like Pedro.
He's just running it now.
He's just like,
somehow
let me decide.
He let us come in.
Let's go.
So we go talk with the officer. He just see this big group of guys, 30 dudes, try to come in inside of the locked up place. And he looked at us. It was like, man, this is really special. I've been working here for 10 years. I have never seen this happening before. So right before we go in,
favor.
That's favor from God, right?
You have not because you ask not. Right. What I love about you, Pedro, is you are bold to ask what people won't ask for, and you'll keep pressing.
Amen.
You can have 10. Can I bring 30?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, definitely. And then we prayed in that moment, man. It just something broke. It was really heavy. Taking a place that those guys stayed there for months inside of a 4x5 little cubic, and straight locked up, and you couldn't see the heaviness spiritually. So right before we go in, I was like, we gotta pray. So we got all the volunteers together to pray and start declaring that place was a holding ground, that God was about to move. And we went to ministry inside, and we just told them, hey, we're from Victory. We came to pray for you guys, have a one-on-one moment. And you could just see the Spirit of God just getting inside of that place. The whole atmosphere changed. And it was really special. It was probably one of my special moments, the most special moments for me. I got to pray. It was about 42 guys. Every volunteer went to one cell. And I got to pray for one guy. His name was also Sammy. And
you're basically peeking through like a small little cutout window with bars on it.
Big, not even bars. It's just a big metal door and has one window. Wow. It's that tough.
And you're able to look in, but they're just sitting in there in that cell.
And it's dark inside. It doesn't have light.
And they're in there 24 hours a day.
24 hours.
Wow.
So I got to pray for this guy, Sammy, and he was like sharing a little bit of his story. I prayed for him. He was like, man, I don't know when I'm getting out from this lockdown, but I never gave my life to Jesus. So I led him into salvation. And I was with my eyes closed. And when I looked, my hands was on the window, and this dude comes and put his head on the window.
Oh, man.
So I was like, that broke me. That was
you just start tearing up.
I tear up. We start walking around, just praying in tongues. And as we're getting out, the officers, they said that they don't have any books, any Bibles inside. It's only them inside. So I come to the officer again, and I ask, we're about to give away a ton of Bibles in this outreach. Is that okay if we bring Bibles to them right after? In the officers, no, you guys cannot do this. It's a locked up unit. They cannot have anything inside. I was like, man, it's just a Bible. Because the officer is so moved, and it was so special to him by the fact that we brought so many people at once. He was like, okay, after the outreach, you come back and you bring a Bible, the 2 mini books from Victory.
Come on.
And we were able to bring, for those guys, there's 24 hours a day. Now they're going to have a Bible inside of those units.
Can you just imagine they're sitting there and they're reading, Psalms, and they're reading the Gospels. And that's like, I think about what Life Church did 20-something years ago when they started YouVersion, and they made it free for everybody. And I think this month they're celebrating 1 billion downloads of YouVersion. But in our own way, we're bringing free Bibles to a group of people who don't have iPhones, they don't have smartphones, they don't get the YouVersion. It's kind of our way of doing something similar to what Life Church did 20 years ago, of making something free, no strings attached, for people that are in dire circumstances, desperate, and that Bible is everything to them, I met a guy at one of the prison outreaches 2 weeks ago, and I shared this at the church, but he comes up to me and he shows me his Bible, and he said, your parents gave me this Bible in the 90s when I went in prison, through Victory's Bible College. And he said, I've been in here for 35 years. I've got another 40 years left. He said, I'm going to die in here. But he said, this Bible is everything to me. He shows me my parents' signatures in there, and he shows me what he's been underlining. And in my mind, I'm like, that Bible that we're giving these guys is going to stay with them, for some of them, 30, 40 years. That will be a treasure for them. And those guys in that dark cellar, that rarely ever get to see sunlight, they're going to get to have that Bible with them, with a little bit of light, and be able to read some of that.
So powerful. I feel that one of the biggest stories so far for me, it was not even in prison. I went to a local rich pastors meeting. There's a bunch of local rich pastors in Tulsa, and this lady comes running to me and just say, hey, I saw what you guys doing in the prison outreach at Victory. I want to introduce myself. I'm not going to remember her name right now, but this story is powerful. She looks at me. I was in prison for 10 years. I went through VBI inside of prison.
Which is Victory's Bible College.
Victory Bible College. And I graduated from VBI. Today, I'm with Wings of Freedom, and I am one of the prison ministry pastors. And we go back to prisons to minister to people. And you see the legacy behind.
Yes.
This is a lady that was in prison for whatever reason, and she was connected to Victory Bible College, got transformed, got equipped, and now she's a prison ministry pastor. Doing the same thing that we're doing right now, but just the legacy behind from your mom, from your dad is so powerful to see that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and you think about the scripture. Jesus said in Matthew 25, I was in prison and you visited me. I was in prison. And that visitation that might feel like us, like, man, it's a drop in the bucket. It's 3 hours, we're gone. But Jesus says that little visitation is going to be remembered in eternity when you're standing before the judge and you're like, crud, I've done some stupid things in my life. It's like, yes, but you visited me in prison. You fed me when I was hungry. You gave me a drink when I was thirsty. You clothed me when I was naked. Like, Jesus forgives us of our dumb mistakes, but he remembers the good stuff.
Oh, man.
Isn't that awesome that we're a part of, and every person that's been serving, even the people that can't come on the outreach, but financially have given to it. I just think people that are watching this podcast, like, prison ministry is close to the heart of Jesus.
Yeah, come on.
Whether you get to go or whether you help your church financially go into those prisons and give out Bibles, it is, it's sacred, it's holy ground. So,
just recently you've been going over like these commands of Christ and as it relates to the end times. And a lot of us have all read those things, but I was literally in service and you preached that line. And I thought, man, I was in prison and you visited me. That hit different.
Yeah.
And Michelle like squeezed my hand and she's like, hey, that's you. And I'm going, oh my goodness,
come on, Jered.
We're doing it. Like, we're actually going and doing it. And I never imagined like this was even possible. I love that's what Victory does. It makes the impossible possible. It gains access. It's like a doorway that just gets kicked open. And it's like, hey, I'm going to go do the Lord's work. Y'all come with me. And I'm like,
come on,
this is incredible. It's so good.
All right, I want to hear from Jered and Jeremiah. What is one story, just like Pedro shared, that was very meaningful to you at one of the last prison outreaches we've done, or in the last 4 months?
Yeah. There was a prison, I think it was 2 prisons ago. It was the big one, the one with like 2,000.
Grain plant.
There was a guy that pretty much stuck with the worship clique the entire time. He kind of just hung out kind of behind the AV squad. And that was the prison we got to bring about 3 of our worship volunteers. So people that are not worship staff, but have done the training and stuff. And he just kept talking to us. And like, we just kept hearing his story. And obviously we didn't really know why he was there, but he was like telling us how long he was there. And I'm a finance major. So I'm like, that's a lot of years. And for him, he was just so touched that like we would even want to be there. And he was like, y'all like, why do y'all want to come do music here? He was like, y'all could be doing music anywhere. But he was like trying to grasp like why we were there as a service. And he was sharing one of his stories with our drummer just about like, you know, his son that's like out right now and his son's birthday's coming up. And something really powerful that he shared in that just really hit all of us was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see my son again. And he's like, obviously, you know, like we're not supposed to be sharing personal information, but he kept trying to like give us information of like what school his son is at and where his son is. Like, if y'all ever see my son, like, I just want him to like play the drums like you. And I think for us, it was so different to be like, this is like someone's dad who legit will you probably never see his kid again. And we all came out of the prison being like, you know, we're so blessed to be gifted to play an instrument or to sing, but like, man, all that dad's dream is that like his son doesn't like waste his life the way that he has.
Yeah.
And like for us, it's like, man, like we can get so confident or take for granted the gift we have to play our instruments or to sing a song. And to know that we can come out and do it somewhere else. But to him seeing us come in there, all he saw was his kid. Yeah. All he saw was, man, my kid, I just want my kid to use his gift to glorify God. And I think Pastor was preaching the other week just about not wasting this past weekend. Yeah. It's been really heavy because I'm like, man, like these guys now, I'm sure if they could take it all back, they would. Like, I'm sure if they could go backwards and whatever he did that landed him in that jail, like, I'm sure he just wants like one day to be out of the jail and be with his kid. And for me, I'm like, I don't even have a kid yet, but I was just like, man, I cannot imagine the feeling of knowing I'm here. And he got on stage. He was one of the inmates that came on stage and he started singing Reckless Love. It was kind of like at the end of the prison and the baptisms were going on. And he just kept saying like, I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it. And I don't know why, but it just all kind of hit us really deep because we knew like he's singing that from a different place and how I sing that or how any of us could sing that. Right. And he just like, he wasn't even singing the rest of the song. He just kept repeating it. Like he just kept saying, I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it. Still you give it. And for me, I literally can't even hear those lyrics the same anymore because I'm like, his desire, he's like, man, like God still loves me even though like I'm pretty much here for the rest of my life. Like I couldn't earn it. And I'm like, truly, he means that. Like I've done everything to not earn the love of God. And it was just really cool. That prison day, he literally was in tears as we were walking away. Like we were saying bye to him. And some of the volunteer boys are trying to be super cool, but I could tell they were like on the verge. Like he was so sad that we were leaving. Almost like he was seeing his son in each of our lives. And it was one of those things I came home and I just could not fathom the fact of like, man, like we may never see that guy again. The same way he may never see his kid again. And so, yeah, that story just really stuck. And it was cool for our volunteers to see that too, just to like have that opportunity. It's been really cool, Pastor, to see how excited they've been. They've all wanted to come. Like it wasn't a thing of like, oh, we're like trying to like hope that volunteer. Like they've all been like itching, like, man, when can we go? When can we go? Just to get that reality. And they're all so young of like, man, like life is worth living. The way that we do things in our freedom. Like, don't waste a day. Don't waste a moment. Like, they don't get that opportunity. And so
don't waste your freedom.
Don't waste your freedom. Like, literally, like that. Come on. But the freedom we have is so great. And they're finding freedom in a different way because they may be in a jail, but they're finding freedom in Christ that even within their space, the hope of Jesus is quite literally all they have to hold on to. So, yeah,
I think, one thing that you said was really good, that every time we go there, it creates like a really healthy, sobering conviction on the inside to go, okay, what am I going to do with the time that I have and the freedom that I have and the opportunities that I have and these children that I get to raise after spending time with prisoners who never get to see their kids, never get to work another job. It really does. It creates a sobering conviction of like, man, I don't want to take this for granted.
Right.
Jered, how about you?
The end of that story that was most impactful was Sonny, but the beginning of that story was with David Rogers. David Rogers is an incredible man. He supports a lot of ministries, but we went through training together, DOC training together, and we're sitting next to each other, and like halfway through, he just says, like, I know that guy sitting up there in front of us. And I'm like, all right, you know everybody. Like, I don't know. So anyway, we caught a break, and he goes up there and taps him on the shoulder, and this dude turns around and immediately starts crying. So I'm witnessing this, and then the guy, David and this guy start talking, and this guy said, in the 70s, David Rogers was doing prison ministry, and he was there praying for me. And he goes, I was serving a 20-year sentence, but I got out at 8. I got out in 8 years, and it was David Rogers who was at the gate there to pick me up.
Wow.
And take care of me. And I'm just like, I'm looking at David, and David's like, yeah, he goes, he told me he was a mechanic and that he wanted to continue being a mechanic. So I picked him up when he got out of jail, and then I gave him his first set of tools. And that guy,
are you kidding me?
That guy said, like through tears, he said, I use those tools every day in my job. Still, this was in the 70s. So David visited him and picked him up when he got out. Yes.
Wow.
And gave him a set of tools.
So there I am, standing there with Sonny. He's holding a burger. And like at this moment, he looks at me and he just says, I get out in 7 years. And there was like this bout. There was like, we were hung in the balance. I'm free, and I'm here, and he's in jail. And there's this 7 years between us. And I'm like, this is my David Rogers moment.
Wow.
And that's when I said, if you can just find a way to Tulsa, I'll buy you a burger.
Yeah.
I'll be at Victory. I want to help you.
Yeah.
Because I think all of these guys they just need help. They just need help. It's not neglecting what they've done. It's not trying to nullify that you're in there, for a specific reason.
Right.
That's fine. We all have consequences in our lives. But when you've paid your debt, I'm ready. I'm ready to help you. I'm ready to be there. I'm ready to walk life beside you. And to watch those guys in that field worship, like I see people in our own church who are bound up. They're twisted up.
Yeah.
And these guys are free.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, I want to be that free.
Yeah.
I want to be inmate free.
That's a word. I want to be inmate free.
I want to be
inmate free.
Yes.
Okay. There's a painting that was given at the last prison outreach. Pedro, tell us on the podcast a little bit about what this painting is.
Painting, that was really special. We got you, and now we have a picture of the guy that drew the painting. He came to meet me before the revival starts, before the service started. And he was like, man, I'm the painting guy here at this prison. And I paint art for everybody that comes, or for even the guards. We paint arts to give to their families. And then Taylor, he said, can I sit down, and while the whole worship and the whole service is happening, can I paint something for you to bring to Victory? So he starts painting that. It took about 2 hours for him to paint it, but that was his way of worshiping. It was really special to see him. He was just sitting there the whole service, and he would stop, start singing, and then come back to painting. And at the end, he put it was the cross, and all those inmates encountered Jesus on that cross. And he put a Victory Church revival service. So for me, that was a picture of like, man, all those 6 prisons we've been on.
Yeah.
All those guys encountering the cross. We're giving them, not us, but Jesus, the whole favor that God is coming behind, is giving them the opportunity to encounter the cross again. And that was actually the dude that as well, I had the chance to minister to him. He came at the end, gave me the painting, and I look at him like he took 2 hours to do that painting. And I look at his shoes, and you could see the socks on his shoes. The shoes was like half ripped. And it was like, no, I don't think it was like a spiritual moment that God told me, hey, give you your shoes. It was just more common sense as a Christian. This guy took 2 hours to do a work behind us. I'm not going to leave and let this guy go out back to his unit with our shoes. So I just feel the conviction. I gave him my shoes.
You took off your shoes and put it on him.
Yeah, it was really special.
Same shoe size?
Same shoe size.
Wow.
10 right there.
Can't even
come on.
Glasses ain't.
But then
let me ask you this: did you like those shoes?
I did. That was a special one.
Yeah, because people will give away.
I'm a shoe guy.
You're a shoe guy. That's what I do.
I love my shoes.
People will give away something that doesn't matter to them, and then when you give away something that does matter to you, it costs you on the inside. You're like, okay, I'm giving this away. I do love this, but I feel more excited to give this away than to hold on to it.
Amen.
It was one of my favorite prisons. I feel that it was a really cold morning. We had all the reasons to cancel. It was like 30 degrees outside. And we had all the reasons as a staff, like, let's cancel. We come back on the spring of this prison. But it just has something special of not canceling, making it happen, going through the cold. And I was a little scared that those guys would not show up because how cold it was. But when the time came 11 in the morning, you could just see the sea of orange coming. The sea of orange.
Thank you for not
just
canceling.
1,000 people coming and be ministry to impacted. And we had 4 confirmed healings in that moment.
That is incredible.
Prison.
Say what the healings were.
We had 2 guys that had back problems for years. They couldn't move or twist or anything, and they were completely healed right there.
Wow.
The one that I had the opportunity to lead the guy into the healing prayer, he broke his wrist 2 years ago.
He's playing, right?
He lost to play, but he couldn't play for the past 2 years because his wrist would not go above this. And then we pray for him. We agree with him for healing to take place. And I go on and praying for more people. This guy comes running and he's like, start twisting his wrist 360. And I was like, look at this. I'm healed. I'm healed. And that was a moment that I'm never going to forget. If we had canceled, if we had not come on that prison, I mean, I know God is a supernatural God. He would do it in a different way, but he called Victory to go and lead that guy into the healing opportunity. And that guy got healed. And that's why whatever we're doing with those revival prisons for the other ones, it always comes something to stop. The enemy is mad that we're going inside of those prisons. We saw over 2,500 guys this past 6 outreach getting saved, giving their life to Jesus in a prison that has 25 prisons on the States, 23,000 guys that we will still ministry to. The enemy is mad, but God is bringing his favor. Any outreach that we go, that the outreach got canceled, you see the favor of God coming and opening that prison again. And it's been a really incredible opportunity.
Bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. Well, guys, you've heard some incredible stories and just a little bit of the work that's been happening in the prison ministry. I'm very grateful for Pedro's hard work to get these outreaches going. Super grateful for Jered's hard work to be feeding. How many people have we fed now? If you add it all up.
We gave it away 9,000 burgers. So this
9,000 and a lot of hot dogs too.
And hot dogs as well.
Probably 5,000 hot dogs.
Awesome.
So it's been 9,000 hot meals that we gave it away this past 6 prisons.
I'm so hungry right now.
And then, and then Jeremiah's just heart for worship. You know, we've had probably an average of 50 to 60 volunteers at all these outreaches when you add up the ones that we've been doing. But just as you've been listening to this, I want to encourage you, whether you're part of Victory or whether you pastor a church or you're connected at a church, I think the heart of Jesus beats for the least, the last, the lost. And Jesus says, I was in prison and you visited me. So think about ways that you can be a part of prison ministry, whether it's through our church, through giving into it, or coming with us on an outreach, or if you live in another country or another state, that you would look at some of those opportunities to go and minister in the prison. Again, we love you so much. Thanks for listening to the Paulcast. Stay tuned right here for more episodes like this. God bless you.